All right, welcome to our yoga class. Everyone taking a seat on our mats, laying down in our Shavasana position, finding ourselves coming all the way flat back, just noticing as our hips and shoulders come down to the floor, arms and legs down by our sides. I want us to close our eyes and start paying attention to our breathing. So, as we pay attention to our breathing, you'll notice that we slowly breathe in through the nose, and then we're breathing out through the nose. Take our time, fill our bellies, feel our chest rise. Couple nice big breaths. I want us to pay attention to what the body's telling us today, noticing anything that's bothering us as we go through our warm up or as we go through our class, paying special attention to those special spots. As we continue to breathe, really noticing now our right and left shoulder equally weighted on the floor, both hips pressing down into the mat. Noticing if one leg feels longer than the other, trying to straighten those out, letting those feet just fall out to the sides. If we feel any kinks in our neck, maybe just rocking the head side to side until we can find the flat part of the skull resting on the ground with our nose pointed up to the ceiling. Now I want everyone to reach our arms long on the floor above our head. I love this stretch. Simply let the arms relax on the ground if we're able to get them there. Opening up through those shoulders. Notice how the back might peel off the ground. Maybe our rib cage opens up a little bit bigger. Taking a few more slow, deep breaths. At any point in our yoga class today, if we start to feel distracted or we notice ourselves not paying attention to our body or listening as we go through the poses, just start to count our breathing, focusing on the inhale and on the exhale. Now, as we release our arms, go ahead and gather our knees into our chest, give ourselves a nice big hug. Holding on to those knees, start to roll our ankles, releasing any tension from the joints. And then starting to rock side to side. I love this knees to chest pose, kneading out any knots in the lower back, noticing any tightness coming through the fronts of the hips. Very nice. From here, let's go ahead and take both feet down to the floor. Arms are down by our sides. We're noticing all 10 toes, all 10 fingers pressing into the mat, rolling the shoulders into the ground, zipping up through the core. Activate the zipper, flatten out the rib cage. Now, as we come into bridge pose, I want us to activate that core. Inhaling, lift the hips up, stretching through the front of our body. Exhale, slowly lowering down. Activate through the abdominal muscles. Inhale, lifting up, squeezing our glutes. Exhale, slow lower. Inhale, lifting the hips up, not crunching our toes, long toes. Exhale, come down. And we have one more. Inhale, lifting up through the hips. And exhale, lower down. Very nice. From here, bringing the hands to the side of the head. Tighten up through those abdominal muscles. Slight tuck at the chin, lift the head up into a crunch. Now, holding the crunch here, I want us to lift up our right knee and draw our elbow towards that knee. Then come back down. Left knee comes up, drawing the right elbow towards. Slow bicycle crunches. So it's inhale up, exhale down. Inhale, crunch, exhale, lower. Inhale, crunch, exhale, lower. Now let's continue at our own speed. As we do this, noticing we have a long neck, wide elbows. We're lifting up off of our shoulder using those strong oblique muscles through the sides of the body and the abdominal muscles. I just want us to start preparing for some cross body control today. As today's yoga intention is going to focus on twists. So we'll need a little bit of extra balance, a little bit more core support. We really need to make sure that all the muscles crossing through the sides are working strong today. Let's do one more. Good, and then go ahead, relax the head, relax the arms, take a nice breath. Bringing our arms out to the side, go ahead and lift the right knee up to the ceiling. Let the whole body twist over to the left, and then look over the right shoulder. Now, while we're in spinal twist, I want both shoulders flat on the ground, allowing the whole right side of our body just to relax. We can even take our left hand onto the right leg if that feels good. Just that little bit of extra weight. Inhale, lifting the knee up. Exhale, lower the foot to the floor. We have bent knees, so nothing too big yet in our warm-up. Lifting that left knee. Go ahead and drop those legs over to the right. And now we're looking over the left arm. So notice the shoulders down on the floor. So only twisting as far as we can keep the shoulders down to the ground. Again, we can hold on to that top leg with the free hand if that feels good. A couple slow, deep breaths. And then we'll lift the leg up and lower it down. Take our time rolling over onto our sides in baby. Push all the way up. I'd like us to come over onto hands and knees. We'll find ourselves in tabletop position. So we'll have flat backs with hands right underneath our shoulders, knees placed directly beneath hips. Spread those fingers, nice soft elbows, relax those toes in the back. Now, as we find our spinal balance, go ahead and reach the right arm and then bring our left leg back behind us. Finding ourselves back through table. Lift the left arm and reach that right leg back. And lower down. Good. Inhale, right arm, left leg, long straight line. Exhale, lower. Inhale, left. Exhale. Inhale, right. Exhale. Inhale, left. Exhale. Inhale, right. Exhale. Inhale, left. Exhale, get ready for songbird. Inhale, right, hold it here. Now touch elbow to knee underneath the body. Inhale, long reach, long, long, long. Exhale, crunch under. Inhale, extend. Exhale, crunch, strong through the abs. Exhale, extend. Inhale, crunch. Exhale, reach long, straight line. One more. Crunch under. Inhale, reach long, hold it here. And relax to the floor. Finding tabletop. Extending left arm, right leg with a big inhale. Exhale, crunch under the body. Find our balance. Inhale, extend. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, reach. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, reach. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, reach. Exhale, crunch last time. Inhale, reach long. And holding down in table. Readjusting if we need to. Let's come into our cats and cows. So we start with a big inhale, reaching forward with the crown of our head high to the ceiling. Exhale, tuck that tailbone round the back. Inhale, untuck the tailbone, lifting the head forward. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, belly button's in nice and high. Inhale, untuck the tailbone, reach forward, open the chest. One more time, round the back, open up through the backs of the shoulders. And then open the chest, lifting tall. Very nice. From here, I'd like us to push back into child's pose stretch. Sit the hips back into the heels. Push those arms actively into the mat. And if we can, let's drop the forehead to the floor. Few deep breaths here. Very nice. Threading the needle, let's take that right arm, thread it all the way underneath the left shoulder. We're just laying into that right ear, reaching that left arm up overhead. As we continue to lay into this right side, we're noticing a bit of stretch coming through the shoulder blade, maybe the arm, just modifying the position if we need a little bit more or if we need to back off a little. And let's come back through child's pose. Switching arms, taking the left arm, bring it underneath the body, under the right side. As we look at that hand, now we're leaning into that left shoulder, stretching through the upper back, the left arm. Notice our breathing, nice and easy. And then coming back through the middle, preparing for that modified flow series we love so much. We come forward into a kneeling plank. Kneeling plank, knees are on the ground, shoulders are above the hands, but we've locked those abs in nice and tight with flat backs. Coming down into baby crocodile, we hold our body above the ground, elbows pressing in against the rib cage. Press straight up into that kneeling plank position, push back into child's pose. So it's a 4-part exercise. Let's do that a few times. Inhale forward, find kneeling plank. Exhale, lowering, hover above the mat in baby crocodile. Inhale, push straight up, kneeling plank. Exhale, push back into child's pose. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, hover. Inhale, press up, nice flat backs. Exhale, push back to child's. One more time. Inhale, we reach forward, strong. Exhale, lower with control. Inhale, press straight up. Exhale, push back, finding child's pose. Very nice. Let's come forward into tabletop, sweeping our right foot up between our hands, stacking our knee directly on top of our ankle. Now let's come all the way, finding runner's lunge. In runner's lunge, we can have shoulders open, hands come all the way up, reaching nice and tall above us. Noticing as we hold this here, we've set the shoulders down our backs. We've taken that zipper, zipped up nice and tall all the way. Any rib cages, if they're really open, go ahead and flatten those out. We want the focus to be on that back left hip as we reach nice and tall. Good. Taking our hands down through heart center now. Heart center, we're going to add a twist in runner's lunge. So really strong here, finding our core. We'll go ahead and just start to twist the body over that right knee. So notice I'm just turning my body a little bit. Now staying here, or start to bring that left elbow down. Good. Now if you can, go ahead now and look up over your right shoulder towards the ceiling. Noticing as we hold this, that we're not slouching through the shoulders at all. We're keeping both shoulders down away from our ears. And if the balance is not working very well today, don't worry. Just keep your hand down on the floor instead. That's okay. Always touch the floor if that's better. Go ahead and take a big inhale, lift up. Now exhale, bring the hands down. I want us to walk our hands back, stretching out that front leg into our hamstring stretch. Now, if this is way too much pressure on the back of the leg today, too much stretch, go ahead and bring our hands up to our hips instead. Yeah, that's way better. We never want to feel like we're hurting our body. So I feel really, really stretchy today. I'm going to go ahead and keep my hands down on the floor, keeping my back flat. Otherwise, go ahead and keep your hands up nice and high, breathing easy into the back of the knee. Remember, in yoga, there's no expectation, there's no competition, and there's no judgment. We leave our ego away from the mat. and we just accept the poses for what they are today. It's a wonderful practice. Go ahead and rock back into that lunge. I want us to curl the back toe as we sweep into a plank. Really nice and strong. Good, nice strong position. Push back into down dog. Our first down dog of the day. Ease into it. Go ahead and pedal those feet as we walk the dog. Very nice. Feels so good as we wake up the backs of the legs, working through the feet, encouraging circulation. Now from here, pressing those heels down to the floor, flatten out the back lots and lots by pulling those shoulders together in the backs, spreading the fingers. Taking a big inhale, we'll reach forward into another plank. Slow exhale, chaturanga, bringing the knees to the floor if that's helpful. Scoop up into baby cobra. So we just squeeze the shoulder blades together. Just the shoulder blades, squeeze them together. We might take our hands off the mat, otherwise leave them on the ground. Good, relax the upper body. Push back into child's pose this time. Finding child's pose, go ahead and take a few deep breaths. All right, everyone, let's come up into tabletop position again. Preparing to repeat the lunge on the left side, we kick the left foot up through the hands, finding knee above ankle. When we find our balance, we'll lift up. Now, if all of a sudden you get any sort of pain through that knee, go ahead and put a towel, a blanket, double up your mat to make that a little bit more cushiony. Otherwise, I want us to really bend into this position, release tension from the toes, both back foot and front foot. Lift those arms up nice and high. Reach those shoulders down our backs. Remember our zipper, our rib cage, never leaning. So if we feel like we've really got ourselves leaning into that front leg, back off a little bit, keeping your stomach away from your front thigh. Closing our eyes if we'd like to. I want everyone to draw our focus to our right hip, that back hip stretching. Really breathe the energy into that hip. So I want you to visualize your exhale, your inhale, all going into that hip. We know from science that imagery, that visualization does indeed allow us to spend a little bit of extra time, a little bit of extra focus, which helps the body in recovery, in performance. Now we'll bring our hands down through heart center, preparing for our twisted lunge. Really strong. We start to just turn the body, rotate towards the left. So we look over the knee. Now, if this feels okay, stay here. Otherwise, we're going to start to bend forward slightly, keeping the back flat. We hinge at the hip. That elbow is just touching the knee. Maybe we can actually press the elbow to the knee, turning, looking up over towards the ceiling. But if we feel like our shoulders just got slouchy, go ahead and back off a little bit. We don't need to add any extra pressure. And if our balance is being all silly, keep that hand down on the floor instead as we look up over the shoulder. That's a nice place to be. Continuing to hold this just for 2 more breaths. Coming through the middle, let's take our hands to the ground and we start that slow walk backwards. Oh, a nice big stretch for the back of the leg. Now, if we need to continue our walk all the way up our hips, that's wonderful. That's listening to the body. And with every exhale, if we feel like hinging forward, flattening out the back, we can bring our hands to where they feel best. So important to listen to our body and not expect a pose to look or feel a certain way. This left side might be treated differently than the right side. Maybe our hands are in a different spot. Trying to keep our chest square to that front leg. On our next exhale, go ahead, rock forward, finding the lunge. Curl the back toes, sweeping under into plank. Very nice. Working on those coordinated transitions. We push back into down dog. At any point in yoga, if down dog doesn't feel good, we take child's pose instead. Now from here, I want us to take another flow series. So we inhale forward, finding plank. With or without the knees, we exhale chaturanga with control, scooping up into cobra, whether it's full or modified. Long necks, strong through the hips and shoulders, pushing back into down dog or child's pose, whichever we prefer. Couple big breaths here. Notice that each time we find our stretch, we're getting a little bit deeper, a little bit longer, a little bit lower, a little bit higher, whatever it is, we're feeling it more. Now we'll walk our hands and feet together at the top of our mat. Come halfway up to our monkey position. Monkey is that half lift, pulling the shoulder blades down in our backs, making sure those bellies are pulled up. Knees are a little bit bent, hands are pressing against shins or thighs. Noticing the shoulders really pulling in the back. Great moment to work on our posture. Sitting through chair pose, I want our weight coming into our heels, our arms reaching up nice and high. Now, as we reach the arms up, think about the wall meeting the ceiling, and that's where we're reaching our hands. If that's not feeling good for us today, we take heart center instead. Very nice. Now from here, I want to take a big inhale, reach tall. Exhale, come back down into chair. Inhale, reach up nice and tall. Exhale, come down into chair. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, reach down. We have one more. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, reach down. Holding chair. Take our hands through heart center. We're adding some twisted chair flows. Taking that right elbow, send it over to our left knee. Inhale, come to the middle. Left elbow, exhale over. Inhale, middle. Exhale, right. Inhale, middle. Exhale, left. Notice we're still sitting in chair. Come to the center. Twist to the other side. Come to the center. Twist to the other side. Try to keep the weight in our heels as we keep twisting one side to the other. Very nice. We're going to do one more on each side. Keep those shoulders back, elbows down. One more time. Oh, our legs are burning. Come through the middle. Big reach up, tall, 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 tall. And relax. Oh, wonderful, everybody. From here, I'm just straightening out my mat. I want everyone to come to the very top. Bring our hands down by our sides. Take our feet just underneath our hips, not too wide. Roll the shoulders. Feel all four corners as we find mountain pose. Tadasana. Standing really nice and tall. Take a big inhale, reach up. Now exhale, swan dive, soft knees into forward fold. I want us to hang in forward fold for a moment. Noticing as we're hanging, just so you can see, that we can let our head completely come down. We can bring our hands to the floor, hold onto our legs, or hold either elbow in a ragdoll position. Go ahead and stay here for just a moment. Now coming halfway back up to monkey. Bend the knees, big inhale, reverse all the way up. As we step back, our left foot, we bend into our right knee, finding warrior one. Right foot's at the top of our mat. Left foot is angled a little bit out so we can press the pinky toe and heel to the floor. Hips and shoulders facing forward. Lift those arms up nice and tall. Shoulders down, long necks, zipping up straight. Now as we bend forward into that knee, lengthen the toes. Take a couple of nice deep breaths. Maybe even try closing our eyes. How does warrior one feel today? How's our balance? We're preparing for our next twist, so I really want us to feel like we're strong, we're grounded. Taking our hands down through heart center. Go ahead and straighten out that front leg just a little bit. Leave it slightly bent at the knee. We'll take ourselves twist over that front leg. So we're turning over to the right a little bit. Taking our left hand down, so it's across the body. We'll go ahead and slide that left hand down the leg. As soon as we feel a stretch, holy moly, we stop. Now my back hand is just resting in my back pocket right now, but if we want to, we can keep reaching all the way up to the ceiling, adding that extra twist as we open up the shoulder. Now, if we're finding our balance is tricky, keeping that left hand on the outside of our right leg, go ahead and just set that hand down on the floor. If we had a water bottle or something, we could also hold the water bottle. That might be helpful. Keep holding this here. Take one more big inhale. Exhale, release the hands. Slowly, slowly soften the knee. Walk all the way up. Very nice. And just step together. Go ahead and shake that out. That was an intense stretch. From the top of our mat, let's reestablish Tadasana, mountain pose, really wide across the collar, feeling like we're really strong through those lats and back. Placing our feet with our right foot this time, stepping all the way back into warrior one. So imagine that gymnastics beam. We've got our back heel on the beam, and then our front big toe and heel are on the beam too. Really narrow. Now, if that's too narrow today, if we're feeling really wobbly, go ahead and straddle the balance beam so it's a little bit wider. That gives us a better distribution of our weight for balance. Now, as we hold this, I want us to bring our arms up nice and tall. Roll the shoulders down, bend into the knee, lengthen our toes. Long toes, spread them out, lifting up through the arches. So imagine those arches, the insides of your feet. Go ahead and lift those up. Very nice. Closing our eyes if we're able to, working on our balance. So important to just take a couple of deep breaths, recenter ourselves, make sure that the chest, the front knees, everything's facing directly forward. We're strong through our core. Taking hands through prayer down to heart center. Start to straighten out that front leg as we prepare for our twisted pyramid. Working our way over to the left side with our chest. We notice our balance. Now, maybe we need to step our feet in closer because we're feeling like it's just too big of a pose. Go ahead and do that. Start to hinge forward now, gliding that right hand down the outside of that front left leg. If we feel a stretch, we're just going to go ahead and stop that. Take that left hand either into your back pocket or reach it all the way up to the sky. Now notice your eyes. Is it better to find a spot on the floor, on the wall, or are we able to go ahead and turn that head all the way up to look at that beautiful left hand? Notice if our right hand feels okay on the outside of the leg, or if it's better to bring it down to the floor or holding a water bottle or a yoga block if we happen to have one. Keep holding. It's a really intense stretch for that outside of the hip. Take one more big inhale. Exhale, coming down. Now soften the knee, walk up the leg, up, 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 slow. Take your time. Come back up to the top. Go ahead and shake that out. That was wonderful, everybody. We are ready to do a next balance pose. We're coming into eagle. So I want us to start by actually taking our arms out to the side. Go ahead and reach them out long. Take our right arm all the way across the body, left arm all the way under, and give yourself a big hug. Very good. Okay, keep this hug position. Okay, so if you missed it, stay here, but if you missed it, we're bringing our right arm on top, our left arm underneath. We give ourselves a big hug. From here, I want us to take our right foot and just cross it over so that it's on a kickstand. So if you missed it, just pick your right foot up, cross it over so it's just a kickstand. Go ahead and sit down. So you're just sitting into a little bit of a chair pose. This is eagle. This is eagle. So we are doing eagle today. If you need more, go ahead and wrap that foot. See how I've just wrapped it around my leg? So you pick it up off the ground and you wrap it. At any point, go ahead and bring it back down into a kickstand. To make the arms more, go ahead and lift your elbows. You've got your right elbow on top of your left. Touch your knuckles together, or maybe even wiggle your arms so that you've got your palms glued together. From here, you can keep your elbows nice and tight to the body if that's helpful, or I want you to go ahead and lift those arms up and sit your hips down. This is really, really difficult for balance. We're causing a whole bunch of tension in the body by squeezing our arms and legs together. Notice that we can also do this sitting on a chair if our balance is really funny, but we want to just get a little bit better at this. Go ahead and sit on a chair as we lift our right knee and our right elbow over top. Very good. I want us to take one more big inhale. And exhale, release. Oh, shake it out. Whew, so you might feel a little bit of extra heart rate, a little bit of extra breathing. That's just all that tension. So go ahead and take a couple of big deep breaths as we stand in mountain. Very nice. Take those arms out front, out to the sides. Left arm comes across the body. Right elbow comes under. Give yourself a hug. Good. So again, if anyone missed that, left arm and then right elbow. Give yourself a hug. Take that left foot, give it a shake, bring it across, make a kickstand. We're just hanging out, giving ourselves a hug, standing with our left foot over top of the right, and then we sit. So if you want me to just turn to the side real quick, I'm just sitting down into a chair. My back is flat. I'm sitting into a single leg squat, really strong with my abs. The next stage, pick that foot up. Now maybe today, your foot's just hanging out, kind of hanging out up here, but you've still got those thigh muscles squeezing together tight. If you're able to, you're going to try to send those toes and wrap them around your bottom calf. Keeping our chest forward, go ahead and lift those elbows. Left elbow on top, knuckle to knuckle, or palm to palm. You can keep your arms in tight if that's helpful, or go ahead and lift them up. Now, if we didn't get it the first time, I want you to keep trying. Okay, so cross your left knee over top of your right, sitting into our chair, crossing that left elbow over top of right, trying to see if you can get your eagle arms. We take deep breaths here as we sit a little bit lower. Squeeze the arms a little bit tighter, creating so much tension. Strong, strong, strong. Take one more big inhale. And exhale, release. Whew, shake it out. Very nice, everybody. Good work. Go ahead and roll those shoulders down, reestablishing Tadasana, mountain pose. Nice and tall here. Take a big inhale, lift up. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Hanging out in forward fold. Now I know that one of our favorite stretches is our twisted forward fold. So go ahead and bend that right knee lots. Take your, what leg is that? Take your left arm all the way up to the sky. So you'll notice that your left leg is straight, left arm is up to the sky. That right knee is bent lots and lots so that we can stretch through that left hip. Again, if you had a yoga block or something to hold and that was more comfortable, go ahead and do that. One more big inhale. Exhale, come through the middle. Go ahead and just soften both legs out. Then we're taking that left knee, bending it lots and lots. Straighten out the right leg as we lift that right arm up really nice and high. Now, we are always aware of our limbs, our body in space. Body awareness is key here in yoga. We're seeing that hand up to the sky. If it doesn't feel good to look up at the hand, go ahead and look down at our feet. Feeling lots of stretch through that outside of the right leg, up through the hip. One more big inhale. Exhale, come down through the middle. Go ahead and bend those knees again. Slowly stepping down through tabletop. And then we'll push back into our next down dog. Now from down dog, just spend a little bit of time here. A couple of nice big breaths. Focus on our breathing. And then I want everybody to come forward with an inhale into plank. Exhale, chaturanga, that slow, controlled lower. Very nice. Sending our arms out to the side. Now we're on our stomach. I want us to prepare for scorpion. Scorpion is just a spinal twist, laying down on our stomach, prone position. First things first, we take our right hand underneath our right shoulder, bend our right knee, and then we'll roll over our left side. So everyone stay here. I'm going to do it one more time for anyone who got a little bit confused. Go ahead and take our right hand, right knee, and then roll over that straight left arm. Only as much as it feels good. If we need more, we'll take both feet on the floor, trying to send the knees up to the ceiling. And we can even look up towards the ceiling as well, taking that free hand all the way back if that's a possibility. Otherwise, we keep it small with the hand down on the floor. Slowly come back all the way onto our stomach. Relax the shoulders. Take a couple of deep breaths. Take the left hand, when we're ready, underneath the left shoulder. That left knee bends. We roll over that right arm. Staying here, again, I'll demonstrate once more. Left arm, left knee, roll over towards the right side. Lots of options. If it feels okay, we can take both knees up. Feet are on the floor. We can even take that top arm out to the side if that feels okay. We can keep the gaze to the ceiling or towards that bottom mat here. Slowly coming onto the stomach again. Relax. A couple deep breaths. Bringing both hands underneath now. Elbows squeeze into the sides. Hands are next to our rib cage. We're lifting up either into baby or full cobra. Making sure we're not leaning into the shoulders. Shoulders are down long, necks are long as well. Lifting up through those hips. Let's push back into child's pose. Sinking the hips. Feel free to open the knees out a little bit wider if that feels good. And just drop the forehead towards the floor or onto the ground. Walk the hands over towards the right side. Let's stretch open through the left side. I like to look underneath that shoulder just a little bit. Noticing the whole stretch down the left side of our body. Walking our hands all the way over to the right now. Or sorry, what side is this? This is the left side. And take a couple nice big stretches, keeping our hips weighted down into our feet. Walk our hands back through the middle. Go ahead, walking up into tabletop. Sweep those feet all the way around forward. Just a couple more stretches as we wind our practice down to a close today. So as we sit up nice and tall in our staff pose, I want us to do a couple of things here, stopping at any stage that we're comfortable with. Through our twist, we start with our right foot coming up beside the knee. So we've got our right foot up on the knee. Then we can take the foot across to the outside of the knee. We want to keep both sits bones on the floor. So maybe this is where we stop today. The next stage that we can try is tucking that foot under so that now we've got our foot down on the floor, this top foot down on the floor, and both sits bones on the ground. If when we came into that position, now we've got one side of our bum lifted up, go ahead and kick that foot back out straight. So this is where you can stay. Otherwise, we've got that right foot on across the leg, our left foot tucked in. Now, if anyone's thinking this is great, but Cassie, I need just a little bit more, you're gonna go ahead and stack your right knee on top of your left knee, trying to put both of your shoelaces down towards the ground. See how my bum is still flat on the floor? So stopping at any point that felt good for you in this pose. We now take a big inhale, lift our hands all the way up to prayer. Sitting through heart center, hold it here. I want us to hinge forward, flat backs. Holy, I'm feeling an intense stretch through that right hip. Now I carry a lot of tension in my hips, so this pose is really, really sensitive for me. If anyone out there is thinking, Cassie, you're crazy, there's nothing going on here. Remember, our bodies are all different. We feel things differently. So just feel it however you need to. If this feels really good, I want you to stay here. Otherwise, we'll come back up straight, twist. Which way are we going? Twist over towards the right side and allow your left elbow to touch the knee. So see how I'm twisted over my top leg? And if you still need more, you can start to look up towards the ceiling. Keeping the hands pressing at heart center, shoulders away from the ears. This is called Turkish twist. So no matter which posture we decided to play with today, take a couple of nice deep breaths. We're holding these final poses just a little bit longer than normal. Our body is warmed, it's ready to relax, focusing on that exhale. Now, slowly, slowly, we're going to lift out of that twist, relax our arms. Oh my goodness, unwind those legs. Holy. Oh, and just shake them back out into forward fold. So now that we're all in forward fold again, we have to go through the other side. I'll take it really nice and slow, and notice that your right side and left side might be a little bit different. So we'll take our left foot first, up beside the knee. See if we can get it on the in or the outside now. If it felt better on the inside, keep it there. Otherwise, the foot's coming across. Now try if we can to switch that right foot so that it's now crossed and just sitting on the outside of our hip. If our bum lifted off the ground, take that right leg back out front. All right, so if we were able to, we've got that right foot in. If we feel like we want it, we could take our left knee, stack it right on top of the right knee. Trying to keep our shoelaces on the ground and both sides of our bum on the floor. Again, if anything doesn't feel great, just reverse one step. Go back a little bit. Okay, so from here, we take a big inhale, reach up tall, prayer pose, down through heart center. Take a big inhale, hinge forward, exhale. We've got a flat back. We're noticing all the sensation, the stretch localizing in that left hip coming through the leg. If this is too much, don't hinge forward. If it's not quite enough, thinking that we're probably going to go on to the next stage. So if you're thinking you want to go to the next stage, lift our body up, rotate over towards the left. Try to send that left elbow onto the knee. Keeping our hands at heart center, look over top of our left shoulder. So if we got into this position and right away we're all crunchy and hunchy because we can't quite get to where we need to be, just reverse a step. Going back into flat back instead. This is where I'll stay. Couple of more breaths, everyone. It's an amazing stretch. Listen to the body. Feeling all of what we did today. Really feel it. Very nice. Slowly coming upright. Whatever position we were in, go ahead and, oh my goodness, unwind from that now. Shake our legs out into forward fold. Now I want us to just take ourselves all the way down onto our mat, laying flat back, bringing those knees into our chest. Give ourselves a huge hug, rocking side to side. Our final stretch is going to be coming down with our feet to the floor in butterfly. So as our feet are on the ground, go ahead and open those knees out to the side. Allow the knees to open to however wide they're allowing us to relax today. Notice the lower backs may have come up off the ground. We can hold our hands on our bellies or our legs, or if we really would like to just surrender, go ahead and take those arms out to the side. If this is a spot that we feel very comfortable, very relaxed, I invite you to stay here as we journey into our final relaxation. If we're feeling any sort of tension or guarded at all, feel free to bring the knees back up together And we can either bring our knees to touch with our feet wide, if that feels good on the lower backs, or we can completely straighten out the legs, finding Shavasana. So I really invite everyone to listen to what the body's asking for and go ahead and hold that pose. Noticing the weight of our body completely melting into the mat beneath us. Our arms, our legs, everything's relaxed. We're feeling longer right now than we did at the beginning of our practice. We've really lengthened our body. We've wrung out those knotted spots of tension. We've released our negative energy, refocused our positive. Noticing how clear our thoughts are as we focus on our inhale and on our exhale. Using that diaphragmatic breath, we feel the stomach fill with each inhale. That's our diaphragm, our rib cage, our chest. On the exhale, our chest, our rib cage, our bellies sinking into the floor. If we notice our thoughts wandering at all, I encourage you to try counting 5, inhale, pause at the top, 5, exhale. And if we continue to notice our thoughts wandering, forgive ourselves. It's okay. There's no pressure. Meditation is not easy. Bring our focus into our breath once more and try again. Now, as we end our relaxation, I encourage everyone to start wiggling our fingers and our toes, rolling those wrists and ankles in circles, maybe even bringing our arms and legs in for one final big hug. It feels good to stretch anything. Doing so now as we either roll onto our sides to come up, or we can rock and roll all the way up to sitting. Let's find our easy seated pose. So we can do crisscross applesauce, half lotus with one foot on top, or lotus with both feet. Go ahead and take our hands so that our palms are just resting comfortably facing up to the ceiling. Shoulders are rolled down our backs. Neck is nice and strong, nice and tall. Taking our final big inhale together, bring arms up above head to prayer. Exhaling down through heart center. Thank you so much, everyone.
Okay.
Namaste.
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 Namaste.